brothers and sisters. Be they in humanity or be they in humanity and faith, we wish all of them well, Ya Rabbil Alameen. So whatever we prayed for the people of Pakistan, we also pray for the people of Texas and Mississippi as well. May Allah ease their pain. You know, if anybody is sick, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them a speedy recovery. And if anybody is homeless tonight in Texas or in Mississippi because of this, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide a shelter for them. And that just reminds us, it reminds us of how blessed we are. Wallahi, we are blessed. Many times we are blessed beyond belief. We just don't know how blessed we are. You know, I remember after Katrina, you all remember Katrina in Louisiana? It was really bad. And they were interviewing people. And there was this elderly African-American man. And somebody asked him, said, "What do you want?" He said, "Right now, man," he said, "I want to take a shower. I want a glass of water. And I want a bed to sleep on." You know, at that point, he said, "That's all I want right now. I want to feel clean. I want clean water." And the sad part is, despite the fact that you are surrounded by water, none of the water that's around you is good to drink. وَمِنَ الْعَجَائِبِ وَالْعَجَائِبُ جُمَّةٌ قُرْبُ الْحَبِيبِ وَمَا إِلَيْهِ وُصُولُ كالعيس في البيداء يقتلها الظمأ والماء فوق ظهورها محمول. You know, he said that you look into this, he said that amazing things happen in the desert. You see cattle dying out of thirst despite the fact that they're carrying the water on their back. So close, yet so far. So much surrounded by water, but none of it is good. So please keep them in your prayers. And if you can help, please do help them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. So inshallah, like we said, you know, the main reason why we're gathering here is to celebrate one of our community members, our beloved sister Naseem Khan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her soul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And I was, saying the other day that I have not had the honor and the pleasure of meeting her for long. When I moved to Memphis, it was COVID time, so we had very few interaction. And then after the COVID, you start getting to know the person, and once you get to know them, and then all of a sudden, subhanallah, it happens to be that it is their time to go. So then afterwards, you're surprised by how much love and appreciation there is. And the stories that just keep coming out of how lovely and helpful this person was. So inshallah, part of our program is going to be recognizing the work of our sister Naseem, inshallah. And for this, inshallah, I will hand it over to Dr. Ali.
Jazakallah khairan, brother Sheikh Fazaga. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You don't know how overjoyed I am to see you all here after a long time. The time that we did not have any gatherings in this masjid, we didn't have any prayers for a long time. So welcome back. Maybe this is the first community dinner we are having after several years. So I like to invite you back and welcome you back, inshallah. And maybe this be the beginning of many more activities that will be bringing us back together. Inshallah, Ameen. The program today, I will just going to outline it for you, so you don't get up and leave after you get bored hearing from me. We have a nice program set up, inshallah. You will hear from me. Part of it you might like, part of it you may not. But what I'm going to do, inshallah, is kind of give us a little bit of the vision of what we are thinking, and we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's guidance and blessings and your participation to make it successful, inshallah. And second thing we will do, of course, I give you a little bit of my reflection of the community work, how being a community service member, how it affects you personally, and I can, reflect some of my reflection on this, my life and my family's life. And then with this, I will bring it up to some of my reflections about my association with Sister Naseem and her family. And then, inshallah, we will have a surprise for you. And I'll keep it a surprise until the surprise comes. And then, inshallah, we'll have a seminar, a talk by Sheikh Fazaga to give us the wisdom of why we should have community service and how it affects us and how it is good for the community. And inshallah, we will have questions and answers, inshallah. And of course, Isha prayers. But best of it is that we haven't had that. Best thing yet is the halwa. So inshallah, we'll have some sweets at the end of all of this. So hopefully the dinner that you have had has been good, inshallah. And I thank Brother Usman and Sister Jannah for really working very, very hard with their teams to make it successful and make it palatable for all of you. And may Allah reward them. So, okay. So, starting the program, our goal, inshallah, is to make this Masjid Salam, a very welcoming and warm masjid for all of us. As you probably know, historically this masjid is one of the oldest masjids in town, and it has been the source of different masajids all over town. So a lot of people call this the mother of the masajids in the city. Well, we come back to the mother to get the warmth and love. So inshallah, we will, with your help and Allah's blessings, we will try to make this masjid a place of warmth for all of you. And may this be a place where you come and get some spiritual relief from your daily stressful life. It is on the way to home. So drop by, say your Asr prayers. If you're going to work in the early morning, drop by, say your Fajr prayers here. Inshallah, we will strive to make it more welcoming for you, but we need your help, inshallah. So there are several things I was going to suggest. As I said, this is going to be the first of the community dinners. Inshallah, we'd like to make it a regular affair, like we used to. If you may have forgotten, we used to have every third Saturday a community dinner Saturday. We used to have a potluck where we would bring different food from everybody's home and we'll share the food with amongst the people that came. Well, the good thing about that is we wasted less food with that, because that way we know everybody brought the amount of food that they will eat for the family and some, and as a result we could share it with the next person. I'm not suggesting we do that necessarily, but sometimes it is good. That way we can also share the culinary specialties that we have. Or other option would be to have a country theme dinner like we have. We used to have we have a Palestinian dinner, or a South Asian dinner, Pakistani dinner sometimes, or Yemeni dinner. Like right now, the Yemenis are in a majority here, so we can have more than one Yemeni dinners. Maybe South Yemeni one day and North Yemeni the other time, inshallah. But anyway, I think we need to do that on a regular basis. That's one of the things I'm going to suggest. Barbecues. The weather is getting better. We can have a barbecue place here. Let's have barbecues every once in a while. And sports days. And we will like to have sports here, maybe a table tennis tournament here, or maybe soccer here. Sheikh who is a very good soccer coach, and he has offered to coach our youngsters, even the youngsters like me, to learn how to play soccer. And we're going to, inshallah, he's going to announce that. I don't want to take his thunder away, inshallah. We would like to have some programs on a regular basis, workshops, khatira that is a little bit more than just 5 minutes, where we can learn about a subject in depth, or doesn't have to be a religious subject. We talk about health subjects, which we need to do. We live in a community there are so many issues. The election is coming. We need to understand the issues, why we are voting. And we need to be knowledgeable. I want our community to be knowledgeable about what's happening outside, and be able to react to different things that are happening. All these things about abortions and LGBT and all that. We need to understand what is the significance of that in relation to our day-to-day life. It does affect us. You think it doesn't? It does. Some way or the other, we need to understand it. And maybe our sheikhs and other leaders will explain that to us, so we can have a better understanding. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that, this thing keep on going every time. 3, 2, 5, 5, 6. Okay. So we can also have a program where we'll have a time to ask the sheikh questions. Ask the sheikh some questions. It's time that we can ask questions, he can answer. We can have quizzes, all those things. We need volunteers and coordinators to do that. One of the things we are trying to do is hire a coordinator who will coordinate some of these activities for us, especially the educational activities, inshallah. Last but not the least, I think it is very important, we must find ways to help the community we live in. We must find the ways, somehow connect where we are. We have a Muslim clinic. We need to make sure it is a lot more relevant and available for the needs of the people who live around us. Not only the Muslims, but also the brothers and sisters of humanity that lives around us. I think this is very, 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 very important. So today's seminar is about the community service. My personal thing about community service is, I didn't know anything about community service when I first came to Memphis. The fact that when I joined the Masjid Salam, I started getting involved in different activities. And I tell you, this is the most, we need that down. This is the most rewarding thing that I have done in my life, other than being a doctor and taking care of patients. Absolutely. I mean, my family joined me in these efforts, and there is nothing better than when your family works with you to help the family out. This doesn't stay. So I really encourage you to please come forward and join in different activities that we do. Volunteer. When you volunteer, you will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes your job easier. I'm telling you this for sure, 100%. There is a saying is that when you run after the money runs away from you. But when you do not worry about the money and do the work, money runs after you. And we really have to think in those terms. I know that we have a career to take care of, but more than important is if you do the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's work, everything becomes easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects you from so many other difficulties. I can tell you from my personal experience. We're not here to talk about my experience. I'm here to share with you about our sister Nasim. Sister Nasim and I know each other for 40 years, maybe more. Brother Iqbal, maybe it's more longer. What is he? Yeah, I know. So, you saw this dinner today? If Sister Nasim was here, she'll be the one who will be organizing it. And she has done that for years and years. So Sister Nasim is, I know everybody talks about her and the MIC and how she did things. She started her training in what she did in MIC here in Masjid Salam. And not only her, all of our families. Today we have Brother Iqbal here, his wife, Sister Almol, is here with her young daughter, Maryam. And we also have her brother, Aziz, and her son-in-law, Masjid, and Sohail. So they are here. We offer our respect and condolences. But what I want to tell you about Sister Nasim, what I have learned from her. I'm telling you, even now I have learned. If I reflect on it, I'm so much to learn still, and these are the things I learned from her. First of all, as you probably know, she was very simple in her approach, simple in her dress, always smiling, always making you feel special. That's the part I cannot get away from. She always made me feel special. Whether it's just me only, but I think probably everybody feels the same way. But I felt special. That's why I always felt like, well, maybe she just likes me. But she just was like that kind of a person. That is something that we have to learn from her. She didn't have a big degree. She was not a very rich lady. She didn't make big contributions with money, but she gave her heart, gave her work, gave her time, very sincerely, very simply, to make people feel at home. This is something that we all have to learn from her. This is not easy to do. This is what I want all of you to reflect on and think about and learn from. And this is what I have learned from her. She was such a caring person. I remember when I was very sick, almost 30 years ago, 35 years ago? 32 years ago. I had severe problem. I was very sick in the hospital. I was bleeding. She sent her brother to give blood to help me. I cannot forget that. So, today, I think the best legacy she left behind is something that we should learn from and practice. That's the only way we can respect her. And let's all pray for her, inshallah. And today, as I told you, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I will, what is Brother Faiz? Come here, please. Go ahead and you can send the email. Yeah. And then go ahead and. So while waiting for this surprise, I will like to thank all of you again for coming. Please do continue to come back. This is your masjid, and only way we can make this masjid better is by you being here and you serving the community that we all live in, and we make this a better place. Inshallah, with your help, we will continue to provide more and more services, children's education, youth programs, and all that. But again, it also has to come from you. And with that, did you have a chance to get join yet?
You all ready for the surprise?
Just give us about a minute, inshallah.
Okay, as we're waiting for this, inshallah, as we're waiting for this, inshallah, remember what Dr. Ali said earlier about us celebrating our diversity, and how one of the programs is once a month we would like a community to tell us about where they come from and to also bring us food from where they come from. And the food, of course, is more important than what they say. If what they say is good but the food is not good, nah. But if the food is good, whatever they say is good, inshallah. Okay, so by just show of hands, how many people are from Ethiopia? Senegal? No Senegalese? Gambia? Liberia? Syria? Palestine? Yemen? Eritrea? Egypt? Pakistan? India? Bangladesh? Morocco? Couscous is down, mashallah, tabarakallah. Yeah, I'm just thinking of all the different dishes that we're going to have. That's what I'm looking at. African Americans, locals. Okay, who did I miss? If your country was not missed. No, I didn't. I didn't miss Bangladesh. Somalia, of course, Somalia. I think I missed Somalia. Nigeria. Okay, so we got Nigeria. I'm surprised we don't have any Senegal. Are you sure nobody's Senegalese here? Yeah, we have Senegalese. Okay. Did I miss any country? Yes. Which one? What? Tunisia. Turkey. Turkey, of course. Turkey, Tunisia, anybody? Okay. Anybody from the Gulf states? Okay. Hello. Yeah, so and by the way, this is a really, really nice program. So what we want is, just tell us about the country so that we get to know, where you come from. We get to know what are the practices there. We get to know about the different cultures. And the food is part of it, but we don't want to burden people. But it will be nice to have what we call an experiential, practical experience in doing this. You good? Not yet. All right. Allahumma salli ala Rasulullah. So from now on also, one of the other announcements is on Wednesdays, inshallah, we will be playing soccer at PVS. Okay, and this is going to be our Salam group, inshallah. I mean, everybody is welcome, but I know that some people really wanted to participate, but MIC was too far. So inshallah, on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., we will be, inshallah, playing soccer at PVS, inshallah. And we would love for you to all join, and please bring your families. When I say families, talking about also our sisters can walk if that's what they want to do. Kids can play, and those who are able to play soccer, inshallah, can also take part of this. Okay. All righty. So let me tell you something, subhanallah, now that as we're waiting for our surprise. I'm reminded of something that Abdullah ibn Umar said. One time Abdullah ibn Umar said that there are 4 kinds of people. I will never be able to reward them for what they have done for me. He said the first one is رجل قال أربعة لا أستطيع مكافأتهم. Four kind of people I will never be able to reward or pay back. قال أما الأول فرجل ابتدرني بالسلام. He said the first kind of people is a person that always initiates greeting me. See what he meant by that? That person that sees you, they go to you, they always say salam to you, they call you by your name. They call you by your name, they know who you are. They're not waiting for you, but rather they take that initiative. Wallahi, this is such a beautiful trait to have. And that's very prophetic. That's how the Prophet ﷺ, would initiate these types of greetings. Especially with children, especially at the masjid. Please make this a habit. You see a kid in the masjid, go out of your way. Give them high five. So good to see you in the masjid. And if you learn their names, you call them by their names. Teenagers, somebody said. Of course. This idea of us being proactive in reaching out to one another. There is something about people knowing your name. I don't mean to put anybody on the spot. Have you ever noticed how you can come to the masjid and pray Isha and see one person for almost over a year? You know who they are by face, but you don't know their names? You know what I'm talking about? Some people, you know them from the masjid. You know their face, you just don't know their names. And what happened? This idea is not about initiating greetings, but also the follow-up here is that you're not just initiating greeting, but you are building relationships. So he said, رَجُلٌ ابْتَدَرَنِي بِالسَّلَامِ. So that's the first kind of people. And then he said, وَرَجُلٌ وَسَّعَ لِي فِي الْمَجْلِسِ. And then he said, a person who makes a space for me. Either makes a space for me physically, everywhere is full, but hey, come next to me. Or sometimes they make a space for me to be heard. People are going around giving their opinions and what have you, but there is one brother, sister, they're shy, they know not anything, but somebody says, what about you? We've heard from everybody else. What are you thinking? What is your opinion? This idea of a person who makes a space for me. We love these types of people. People who make a space for us. And then he said, وَرَجُلٌ اغبرت قدماه يمشي في حاجتي. Third type of people are those whose feet become dusty because they are doing something for me. Brother or sister who says, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. This is Sister Naseem, by the way. You just say that there is something, she goes, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. Kwani subhanallah, these simple things, little things, wallahi, they are unbelievable. They may be very simple for you, but to somebody else, you may have really changed their lives and you don't even know it. Brother comes here and goes, I'm looking for a job. And he said, you know what? Why don't you send me your resume? I'll see if I can send it to somebody else. And all you do is, they send it to you, you forward the email to somebody, say, this brother is looking for a job, can you please help them? And then all of a sudden you find out that the brother has got a job. Everything happened because of that simple click, that simple forward that you did. I'm looking for a job, and say, let me, there's a brother actually, he asked me, he's looking for people to work with him, for him. Let me ask. You make that connection. Remember a sister, she called and she said, Sheikh, we're leaving town, and we don't think that we are going to take our stuff with us. Do you know anybody that needs it? Say, you know what? Just recent refugees came. Let me ask if they need anything. You make that phone call. And the sister says, man, I was so worried because there is no way we can afford to do any of that. But now all of a sudden, somebody is leaving and they actually offered that they can deliver the stuff to them. That's beautiful. The idea of, you want to do something for people. By the way, Abdullah ibn Umar is learning this from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In the hadith, it said that Abdullah ibn Umar is sitting in the masjid and he was doing i'tikaf. And I love this hadith. I'tikaf is seclusion in the masjid, where you just sit in the masjid and do nothing else. You know, taking some time to grow spiritually, read Quran, make dua, make dhikr. You know, you're engaged in the remembrance of Allah. So he comes in and people around, they found out that, you know, this is what he's here for. Sitting there, a man comes in and his face spoke everything. You know, when a person's face speaks to you, not what they say, but their face speaks to you. And the face spoke. The face spoke worry, anxiety, scared. And usually when we see a person looking like that, what do? Avoid the heck out of them, man. We say, man, I have enough negativity in my life. I have enough problems of my own. I have enough problems to worry about. Abdullah ibn Umar sees this person, he goes and goes, what is wrong? What is going on? And the man says, Humumun wa duyunu rakibat. He said, debts, man, I'm just overwhelmed by debts. Kind of like through financial problems. He said, what's going on? He said, today is the day to pay and I have nothing. Who did you borrow the money from? Such and such person. قال أيسرك أن أشفع لك عنده? He said, would it please you that we can go there and I can intercede on your behalf? Maybe extension, maybe reduction. And they said that the man's face lit up. And he said, you would do this for me? You would really do that? Abdullah ibn Umar says, yeah, let's go right now. And they start leaving the masjid. Somebody from the people in the masjid decides to remind Ibn Umar. Said, Ya Ibn Umar, naseet, anta mu'takif. Said, Ibn Umar, have you forgotten? You've dedicated the rest of the day to be in the state of i'tikaf, seclusion in the masjid. Stay. Ibn Umar looked at the man and said, uskut. He said, but just be quiet. He said, be quiet. You know, this idea of what we call like mistaken, erroneous religiosity. He said, man, just be quiet. He said, be quiet, man. فإني سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول. He said, I have heard the messenger of Allah say, لأن يمشي أحدكم في حاجة أخيه خير له من أن يعتكف شهرا. He said, for one of you to walk with their brother to get something done for them, that is better for them than being in the state of i'tikaf, seclusion in the masjid for an entire month. Which masjid? The masjid of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, some people, they go to Medina, and what is it that they want to do in Medina? Those of you who've done it, well, you've got to stay 8 days in Medina. What is special about 8 days in Medina? Yeah? Yeah. 8 days in Medina means 5 daily prayers, means 40 different prayers in the masjid of the Prophet of Allah, and say that's very virtuous. Okay? The hadith are weak regarding the 40 salah. Okay? But nevertheless, people really want to do that. Now the opportunity is not just 8 days, now it is 30 days. And the Prophet of Allah said, for you to go give a ride to somebody, for you to go translate for somebody, help somebody, give them a jumper. Maybe they ran out of gas. Maybe they need to be dropped off somewhere. He said, the Prophet of Allah said, this deed in the estimation of Allah is better for you than staying in the masjid of the Prophet of Allah, being in the state of i'tikaf for 30 days. You're speaking about social service? Man, look at how virtuous and valuable social service is in our deen. About this, person may not need you to drop them off or anything like that. Sometimes people just want your ears. Sometimes people just want our time. Sometimes people just want somebody to talk to. You know, speaking of Katrina again, and I love the story. This, you know, Katrina is happening, and this big African American dude comes into the volunteering center, and he tells them, he said, hey man, I want to volunteer. So people volunteering center, they look at him and say, oh, you've got a boat? He said, man, I've got no boat, man. Oh, you have a big truck? He said, man, I got no truck. Oh, you brought water with you, drinking water? He said, man, I have no water. He said, well, you have dry clothes, don't you? He said, man, I have no dry clothes. So they looked at him and they said, no boats, no big truck, no water, drinking water, no dry clothes. What do you want to do? You know when somebody wants to volunteer and now you need a volunteer to manage this volunteer? I was like, bad news. So the people looked at him and they said, what do you want? And the man said, man, I've got none of that. I just want you to know that I'll be standing by the corner. If anybody wants a hug, I will give them a hug. Sometimes people just want a hug. Wallahi, sometimes people just want a hug. Remember one time I was in the masjid, a brother comes to the masjid and he tells me, he goes, Sheikh, my father passed away. May Allah bless his soul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. So I go into my Sheikh mode. لله ما أخذ وله ما أعطى وكل شيء عنده. And I start making dua and the brother goes, Sheikh, please, I just want a hug. Wallahi, I get up, give the brother a hug, and the brother starts bawling. He starts crying. Then he sits down, takes a sign, goes, oh man, he said, you're the best sheikh, man. You know when I became the best sheikh? When I shut up and gave him a hug. Sometimes that's what people want. Just shut up and give me a hug. Yeah. And that is really beautiful. Remember, it may be simple things, but they mean so much to people. وَرَجُلٌ اغبرت قدماه يمشي في حاجتي. A man whose feet became dusty because they've been walking, doing something for me. The leg work may not get your feet dusty, but you drove them somewhere. You were on the phone translating for them. Sometimes simple things. Well, I remember a brother said, I've got a court case tomorrow, but my English is not good, man. I need somebody to go to court with me to translate. Somebody says, I have an interview tomorrow. I need to sign a lease on an apartment, but I don't speak good English. I was hoping that somebody would go with me. We're just recent refugees. I'm trying to get my kids to register at the school, but I just don't know how. My kids are going to go to college, but I don't know how to fill out an application. My kids just wrote an admission, a statement. They want somebody to go over it. I did not finish school. My kids have homework, but they want somebody to help them. Inshallah, one of the programs is going to be designating a night to help with homework here for our children at the masjid. These simple ideas, but they make a big, huge difference. And then Ibn Umar said, أما الأخير فوالله لا يكافئه عني إلا الله. He's talking about the four kind of people. He said the fourth kind of a person, he said, is a person, and I know that no matter what I do, there is no way that I can pay them back. I can only beg of Allah to pay this person back, to reward this person. So now the people really became intrigued. And they said, who is this person? Listen to what he said. He said, رجل نزلت به نازلة فجعل يفكر ليله في مصيبته فوجدني أهلا لمصيبته. He said it is a man, a woman, a catastrophe happened to them. And this person all night long, they've been thinking about the catastrophe, the problem that they have, and then all of a sudden, the light bulb just went up, turned on, and they said, this person can help me. He said, if this person thought of me at that point, he said, only Allah can reward that person. What he's saying is that it brings so much joy to my heart to find out that when people have problems, they can count on me. ايش يقول لك؟ الحمد لله الذي جعل حاجات الناس عندنا ولم يجعل حاجاتنا عند الناس. This person said, all praise is due to Allah. We're grateful to Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has facilitated us to help people, and it's not the other way around, us seeking help. So he said, when people have a problem and I am the person that they think of, he said, this brings so much joy to my heart that the people thought of me. That the people thought of me. I don't know how you all do this, but I can tell you there is a person, anytime I have an issue, I just love to call that person. Brother Usman, you're my man. You know, that is so nice. When something happens, say, you know what? I don't know how to do this, but I know the right person who can do this for you. What do? I'll just text you his number right now. Brother Usman from Masjid Salam. I said, nice. And that's really nice. When people can count on you. You know, by virtue of what I do, people, somebody's just having a hard time, say, you know, call the therapist. And that's nice to know that people can do this. I know that there are some rich people in our community. And I just love the idea. I know the brother doesn't mind. Wallahi, I know people, all I have to do is I call them up, say, Salam alaikum, brother. Sorry, man, to get a bad time. But do me a favor, I'm sending you somebody, they're desperate. $1,000. Can you please do that? Yeah, send them my way. That's all I need to say. That's all. And they're not going to ask questions. You know, you develop this type of relationship and the people know that, you know what, I can count on you. That is such a nice way of doing things. And this is what's so lovely, you know, as we're still talking about our beloved sister Naseem, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her soul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. رَجُلٌ ابْتَدَرَنِي بِالسَّلَامِ. A person that always initiated greetings with me. You go to MIC, Sister Naseem sees you, she is definitely saying salam to you. She would walk towards you, say, oh, mashallah, salam alaikum, how have you been? And, you know, everybody, Dr. Alim said that, you know, she made him feel special, but I can tell you that she really made me feel special. And I know that she liked me more than anybody else. Brother Iqbal, you didn't know this. Okay? But she gave me the key to the kitchen. Okay? She really did not trust many people with the key to the kitchen. You all know what I'm talking about? But she gave me the key to the kitchen. And that's how I knew I was special. You know, people do that. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they said that they all felt that the Prophet of Allah made them feel that they were the most special. People leave the gathering and they all say, did you see the way the Prophet of Allah was looking at me? No, he was looking at me. No, he was looking at me. No, he was captivated by me. No, he was looking at me. That is how people felt. It's not just about saying salam, but man, just like, you know, they say salam to you in ways that you really feel they are happy to see you. And maybe we experience this once a year. You know how we would be here like for the day before Eid? We would be here for Eid and, you know, we see each other. And then like on the day of Eid, we pretend like we haven't seen each other for a long time. MashaAllah, Assalamu alaikum, taqabbal Allah. What happened? You know, that greeting that we receive on the day of Eid, that is just their daily greeting. They see you and just, you know, it's like so much joy now that I'm seeing. MashaAllah, how are you? That's lovely, man. That is this is what we call, you know, in these statements of Ibn Umar, there is so much social intelligence that's going on. So much intelligence that is going on. Just noticing the way that people greet you. Noticing these things. And then of course he said, you know what, the person who makes a space for me. You know, what do you think? We haven't heard from you. Why don't you come here? Get next to us. And so on. Or he would say, for example, you know what, don't worry about it. I got it. Consider it done. We will do it. Don't worry about it. That is lovely. I am so glad that you called me. Alhamdulillah. Maybe we can do something about that. You know, people when they reach out to us. The tendency is that we live nowadays in a culture and in a time where we get annoyed when people call us. We get annoyed especially if they call us more than once. Or we really get irritated when they call us like several times. And the fourth time, man, we are just ready to say, come on, man, come on. And we just go on them. And that is not healthy, and that is not good. Do we have the surprise? All right. Speaking of the surprise, inshallah, we do have a really what we would consider to be a beautiful, lovely surprise for you. I'm looking at the screen in the back. Is it on? Okay.
Salam alaikum, Brother Moin.
Oh, you just ruined the surprise, yeah, Dr. May.
There you go. So, Brother Moin, we have a mosque full of brothers and also sisters in the back that always asks about you, and I thought the best way to tell them how you are doing is for you to tell them how you are doing. Come on, go ahead.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu salam Rasul Kareem. And I can see Dr. Fazaga right away, my dear brother. And assalamu alaikum to Dr. Fazaga, Sheikh Fazaga.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And also, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the Muslimin of Masjid Salam. And I love you all and I miss you all. I know that I left Memphis in the first week of April, and since then I've been missing you all. And I hope you all are in good health, happy and prosperous.
Can you see anybody?
And I love you all. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Okay.
I know that this evening is devoted to Sister Naseem's sacrifice for the community and for the two masjids that she worked in. One, the earlier one was Masjid Salam, and the next one was MIC. And she moved to MIC because she happens to live very close to MIC. But we missed her very well after she left Masjid Salam. And the amount of sacrifice that she gave was just phenomenal. And since I had the honor of working with her in the Zakat committee for quite some time, I know a little bit more about her than most of the people. And that is that whenever we had an application for financial help from the people, she would go visit their home, study their food problem, the food problem, and also what kind of shelter do they have on their heads on, and also what kind of clothes are they wearing. And she'll come back and report to the entire Zakat committee. And that was something that was not done by any other member of the Zakat committee. And that's what she is very well known for. And her sacrifice for both the masjid and the community is just spectacular. And we are all, honoring her sacrifice, and I hope somebody will come out and take her position. And I was under the impression of proposing Sister Shahida, wife of Brother Nisar. And I hope she will accept this. But of course, she is going to need some help from other sisters as well. So are some people ready to sacrifice themselves to take the position of partial position of Sister Naseem?
Inshallah. So, Brother Moinuddin, there was a
Yes, sir.
question that everybody asks all the time about you, is how you are doing with your health and, other things, but just they're curious about you. So maybe in a few words, you can tell them about how you're doing. So I don't have
Okay.
to, I don't have to answer to them every time.
Okay. Well, the condition that I was diagnosed with is known as multiple myeloma, which is a kind of a blood cancer. Well, they have put me on chemotherapy, unfortunately, and I responded very well. And the main parameter for judging whether I'm responding to chemotherapy or not is what is known as the M protein. So if the M protein becomes zero, that means I'm responding very well. And therefore, I have been lucky with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My M protein is zero.
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So I have responded very well, and therefore I'm more or less asymptomatic. But you know very well, cancer doesn't go away, and cancer will stay. But Alhamdulillah, I'm doing very well, and right now I am in complete remission.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh.
So one other question, and then after I'll let you go. I know you're busy. So they were asking me to ask you, how do you like the place that you are in? Do you really like it better than Memphis?
No, because
Dr. the entire masjid is listening, by the way, so choose your words carefully now.
that's a very good advice. I'll follow your advice. Well, the thing is that from a scenic standpoint and from a family standpoint, I'm doing very well because I'm close to my son, and my daughter-in-law is also extremely helpful. She helps me a lot. So I'm doing very well as far as that is concerned. However, from a social standpoint, I'm not doing too good because it's difficult to make friends in old age. And therefore, I miss all the friends of Memphis, of Masjid Salam. And you know very well how much I was attached to the masjid also. And I certainly miss Masjid Salam and the society, Muslim society of Memphis over there. And I just can't tell you how much I miss that. And people like the Sheikh Fazaga, whom I miss a lot.
Okay, well, I will let you go, but before I let you go, I want you to say salam to Brother Iqbal. Come on.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Iqbal.
He's coming.
One more time.
He's coming, and I think if you come over there, you can see him better. I think. Here we go.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Iqbal.
Walaikum assalam, Dr. Moin bhai. It's been a long time. I know I talked to you the other day. Jazakumullah khair for all the good thoughts, inshallah. May Allah give you the shafa. Alhamdulillah, look like the news is already good. Alhamdulillah, may Allah give you the shafa. And also, please keep praying for us and Naseem.
Ameen.
Jazakumullah.
Ameen.
Okay. Jazakallah khair.
She's just, such a pious sister that I'm sure there are hundreds of people who are praying for her, and I'm sure this thing, what do you call it? I'm sorry, I have a problem with memory, and the dua of so many people will be certainly accepted, and you do not have to worry about that.
Ameen, ameen. So Jazakallah khair, Brother Moin. It was so good to visit with you. I'm sorry there were some technical issues, but we finally made it. That's the most important part. I left this as a surprise for the community. I tried very hard but I hope I still could keep it and fulfill
It
the
was
desire.
a very pleasant surprise, mashallah, and we're all happy to see you. And may Allah continue to bless you with good health and strong iman, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And not
Well, thank you.
only, you're not only missing Memphis, but also Memphis is missing you.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Okay, we say you need to come for a visit. Everybody says that. So we need to have to send you a plane ticket.
Inshallah, very soon.
Inshallah,
Ameen.
inshallah, Ameen.
Ameen.
May Allah keep you well, and Sister Shamim, give her our salam as well, and we'll let you go. Jazakallah
I
khair.
will.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam. Dr. Alim, Jazakallah khair. This was a beautiful surprise, mashallah, tabarakallah. May Allah bless you for facilitating for this, Ya Rabbil Alameen. But did you all notice how Dr. Mu'in really likes me, mashallah, tabarakallah? Okay. You know, there is something about this. Dr. Mu'in said several things. You know how he said that family, the scenery is nice. He's in Denver, Colorado. He said, I'm surrounded by my children. And he said, that's beautiful. The scenery is beautiful because Colorado is beautiful. But then what does he say after that? He said the social life. He said the social life. So in an older age, it's difficult to make friends. And I was so attached to the masjid. I know for a fact, wallahi, I am not making this up, where sisters, daughters would call me up and they would say, my father loves Fajr prayer so much. Because we had a custom in California where we would pray Fajr, then we had tafsir, and then we would have coffee. She said the day my father misses Fajr, he is depressed for the rest of the day. What happened? Said that he didn't get to make it to the Salah, but he also did not get to see his friends. See, many of us, the masjid is our second home. You know, some people really love coming to the masjid. They're here for Isha, they come here for Fajr, they come here for different events. So remember that, you know, speaking about what the masjid means to community members, it's more than just a place where people, they come and pray. You know, in our deen, you can pray anywhere. We can be praying in the parking lot and our salah is accepted. You can pray anywhere. But there is more. What makes it special is not in addition to the salah, it's everything else that happens, the before and the after of the salah. And you know, Dr. Ismail's, you know, age group is also a group that needs special attention in our community. Because these are people that, you know what, sometimes, you know, for our elderly, it seems like the questions are, Baba, grandfather, you know, did you take the medication? Did you eat? Are you feeling cold? Do you need me to turn on the AC? Turn off the AC? And then what? And that's it. And that's it. But there is more into life than just, did you take your medication? Did you eat well? Do you need to be covered? Are you okay? And that's really it. Sometimes people they just want to talk to friends. You know, there is one particular place in the Quran, in the dua of Zakaria alayhi salam. You know, Zakaria alayhi salam, he describes it, قال ربي إني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبا ولم أك بدعائك رب شقيا. Zakaria alayhi salam gives a description of the state that he is in. He says that my bones have become frail. My hair is all gray. And as long as I pray, oh Allah, through my prayers to you, I will never be miserable. But then the Quran tells us that Zakaria spoke softly. إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ نِدَاءً خَفِيًّا. You know, you speak, and it was a very soft dua that he made. And the question is, why does Allah say it's khafiyya? Why did he speak so softly? Al-Razi has an interesting opinion on this, and he said, خاف زكريا عليه السلام أن ينسب إلى الخرف. He says Zakaria alayhi salam was afraid that people were going to accuse him of being foolish. What is this at old age you're hoping for a child? I mean, if somebody does this now, you know, people think that you're foolish. If I pray for a child now, people are going to say I'm foolish. Okay? Imagine somebody much older praying for a child, and then all of a sudden, people are going to think that you're foolish. At old age, sometimes people have dreams that they have not achieved. People want to talk about these things. And our job would be to create a safe place for our children. So inshallah, as we're concluding, Dr. Alim said something. Said, look, all of these programs, you can plan them, you can have them, but this is not a one-man job and it's not a one-man show. And what we're hoping for is, what are your ideas? What would you like to see in the masjid? Dr. Alim said about this, make this a monthly event where it's not just a place to come and eat, but also a place to come and get to know each other. Maybe we could pick an ethnic group, a group of people from the same region, and inshallah they take it upon themselves, say, okay, beginning in September, inshallah, we pick the first Saturday or the last Saturday of the month. That's an idea. The homework, help for our children. Now that we're doing the soccer, inshallah, the lectures between myself, Sheikh Anwar and Sheikh Faqih, what else would you like to see in our community? Like what other ideas come to mind that you believe we can implement them, and inshallah they would be good for our community? Please, Abu Ahmed.
Tennis court.
What court?
Tennis court.
Tennis court. You mean table tennis? No, I think you mean table tennis. No, you mean table tennis. Okay? All right. So we've got the courts at PVS.
The court is already there. All we need is put lines and put it. That's it. I'll take care of the rest.
That's an idea. Wallahi, Shabbat, that's an idea. If it's doable, why not? Especially if it's a portable net, can put it so that the parking is not impacted by this. Alhamdulillah. I'll do the lines. Okay? Anybody else? Okay? Beautiful. Anybody else? Ideas?
What did he say?
He said he will help me do the lines. He's just copying my ideas. Fadal Habib. Okay? Classes, like Islamic studies classes. Hello. Huh?
Bring the Dawah Center back, Dawah Center back, like with all the things that it had for the students.
Bring the Da'wah Center back, all the activities that came with it. Beautiful. MashaAllah.
Can I suggest can I add something? We're going to have a youth program, inshallah. And you probably know Sheikh Anwar, Mr. Anwar, Sheikh Omar, who gives khutbah here every once in a while. He's organizing a youth program. We're going to start the program at MIC, but his plan is to eventually bring it to PBS so that we can also participate from here. And until that happens, we'll be willing to make sure some of the youth that are interested, we will go there. And some of this is going to cost some money, and there are money available for you. So all you have to do is talk to Brother Usman and show your interest, and we will inshallah take it from there.
Beautiful.
So there is a limited number of scholarships will be available in case you are not able to pay for the expense of it. But I have looked at the program. I can assure you it's a very, very good and elaborate program which will teach you not only about our religion, about the ways of life in this country that we have to face as we get older and go to college. So I think this is available to us, and we would like to implement that. But again, we need people to participate. We need our parents to bring their children out for us, and the program is available, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Beautiful. Any other ideas?
Jazakallah khair. In the past, we had the potluck dinner, as Brother Alim said, and also we had, like let's say, one time, personally, I did something about Jordan, and we cooked food from Jordan, in that case, and people came usually people come in when there is food and food.
Yep.
And inshallah, these were very successful things we had, and I personally would love to see them.
You know what we did say?
Yeah.
When the Jordan will be bringing their food, they will also make a
Presentation.
visual
Yeah.
presentation about their country, the people,
And the culture.
and the culture. And
Yeah.
I think that's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And also.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're looking for. When we said that we want to, and you know, the food was a joke, but we really want the food. So the food was a joke, okay? But now the idea is, in addition to the food, we also want to learn, okay? Look, I know about Senegal, I know about Gambia, I know a little bit about Liberia. Some people tell me that they've never heard of Eritrea before, where I come from, Eritrea. And then I told them, I said, do you know that Islam came to Eritrea before it came to Medina? Do you know that Islam came to Eritrea 46 years before it came to Syria? You know that Eritrea is the land of the first hijrah? Do you know that the oldest masjid after the haram in Mecca is actually in Eritrea? And people say, I did not know that. Masjid al-Sahaba. The first masjid outside of Arabia was built there. And we are, man, we didn't know that. Now the idea is, what else do people in Senegal do that we don't know about? Or people in Nigeria, or people in Bangladesh, or what else do? What is out there in our community that we're not aware of? So that is the beauty of what we want to learn, inshallah, from each other as a result of these programs. تفضل. سلام. Get ready, people. تفضل.
Three things I just want to say, symbol in the masjid. First of all, that's my chairman of the masjid, and you are my imam. And personally, I don't want to say I'm giving him condolence for the Sister Nassim Khan and the family in here. But as a Masjid Salam, since mostly we are the one who receiving, if she have everything for the coordination and service of the community, Sister Nassim, for any moment, every week, every month, every year.
MashaAllah.
So Brother Khan, please accept you and Dr. Shan and your daughter and all. As a Masjid Salam, we are the one who lost Sister Nassim Khan. May Allah bless her.
Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin.
And we will not forget.
Ameen. Ameen.
Second thing,
Before, first, our brother Hajj Hussein here is reminding us that the loss is greatly will impact Masjid al-Salam, since Sister Naseem is the one that coordinated on weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, the needs for the people in Masjid al-Salam. She is greatly going to be missed by our community, even though she was mostly at MIC, but a good amount of work was done here for the community in Masjid al-Salam. And he's offering condolences on behalf of all of us. That was the first point. So,
second point, I want today, you are from MIC, you are seven, but I want to give you a special message to Dr. Shan and his uncle or father, Khan. We are thankful for Mr. the MIC, what they do for Mr. Salam. We are very thankful. How they coordinating, how they helping us, imams, every side, and we are thankful for MIC.
yeah, and second point is acknowledging the coordination that takes place between MIC and Masjid al-Salam. And I know that Hajj Hussein is just talking to Brother Iqbal and Dr. Shan, but we also want to acknowledge the presence of our brother Aziz, his son Mahad, and Suhail, and also Sister Anmul in the back, and baby Maryam as well in the back, and brother Majid as well.
Please, I'm sorry. Also, Brother Majid, yes, his mother-in-law. And lastly, you personally, Dr. Fazaga, Faiz, and Dr. Abdal,
Takbir.
do you know we have inflation and we cannot afford community food, or you are paying the money?
Are you there for the food?
Is that inflation? I
Huh.
cannot go this store.
Yeah.
And you want community food?
Okay. So I think Hajj Hussein is bringing up a point. We spoke about food. With the inflation that is taking place, we are suggesting that people cook food for the entire masjid. So just cook food for the imam then, I guess.
Our last request, each and every country, from Eritrea to Bangladesh to Somalia to corner and corner, if we are talking about community we experienced in last few years ago, please don't bring the good side and good building of the country. Bring bottom to the top of that country.
Okay.
Bring their
Yeah.
nice behavior
Yeah.
and their harsh like Sheikh Hussein behavior into that country.
So I think that's a point, and that is when you present the idea is not the point is not just to look good. So I can tell you this about Eritrea, for example. You know, we can take pride being the land of the first hijrah, the oldest mosque, but I can also tell you that Eritrea, as of today, is known to be the North Korea of Africa, the absolute worst human rights violations in the entire world. We have got the worst freedom of the press in the world. So remember, the point is not just to offer self-congratulatory statements. The point is that we want to learn. What are the challenges? What is so good? What is not so? Brother, please.
Two things. We have three of them. First of all, a lot of people who are here, or some of the people who are here, they are all originally from this masjid. Sister Naseem used to be a very active person at this masjid as well. And I can remember a lot of things that she has done for this masjid as well. The second thing is about Eritrea. How did, if I can go into that direction, and you don't have to be very elaborate on that, but what caused the division of Ethiopia into Eritrea and Ethiopia?
Yeah, I think 2 points were brought up. Number one is, most of the people who are present at other masajid, the inception was here at Masjid Salam. And I think it was, who referred to Masjid Salam as the mother masjid, that people, come back to. And Sister Naseem was instrumental, of course, and she was a very active member in Masjid Salam. The second question was, inshallah, this is going to be the last question, was about the split between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Briefly, remember that the British colonization was one of the most brutal. And what the Brits did is that everywhere they went, when they left, they made sure that they left a problem behind. And it is what we call divide and conquer. We are going to leave you a problem. So what they did is that they left Eritrea. Eritrea is basically 1,000 kilometers along the Red Sea. 5 million people. Ethiopia, 100 million people. But they have no access to the sea. So they literally carved out Eritrea just to prevent them from having access to sea, which means commerce, which means economics. So on the one side, they are prevented from sea by Eritrea. And then on the other side, they're prevented from sea by Somalia. So what happens is that at any given point, you have 100 million people, they don't have that type of access. What you do is that you can always instigate the problem. And sadly, I think it was Henry Kissinger, who's referred to as the diplomat of U.S. foreign policy. He was once addressing U.S. diplomats. And he said to them, remember, your job is not to resolve the conflict. Your job is to manage the conflict. Because conflicts are good. Conflicts are good. And what you do is make sure that the conflict is always there, but manage it well, always to your advantage. And that is the sad part, not only about Eritrea, but about many other places. Last question, inshallah. So.
Let's not shove under the carpet what Brother Musa has said up there. That is the Dawah and Youth Center still have the same Youth and Dawah Center. They used to have over here the center alive, which has been set actually by Brother Sean, and has been stripped away from them, from the youth. It's taken away. It has some activity over here on this masjid. I mean, it's activity, satellite activity in masjid BBS. It has been tried before. It's okay, but it never really captured the Musa, Mama, a lot of kids used to play there. That's what they need you to
Yep.
see. Satellite
Yep.
stuff is okay, but they need something in here, in this venue.
Got it.
And our condolences to
Yep.
my family, Sister Nasim.
Yep. Yeah. Again, more condolences coming our way to Sister Nasim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her soul, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And reminding us of the importance of reviving the youth programs, inshallah. Yeah, and inshallah and I think the point is we can bring this here locally as well. Please do keep Sister Nasim in your prayers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless her soul. May the place that she went to be better than the place that she was in. May the people or the environment that she is in now be better than the environment that she has left. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, may her neighbors be better than the neighbors that she has left, Ya Rabbil Alameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her family lots and lots of sabr and patience and perseverance, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khair, Jazakumullah khair, Dr. Alim, Jazakumullah khair, Brother Iqbal and family for coming. Jazakumullah khair all for being here tonight, Brother Usman, Sister Jannah, Jazakumullah khair for coordinating. Also, we want to thank our volunteers, people who keep us clean, people who keep us organized. Please remember, when you see these brothers, say Jazakallah khair. Somebody who's directing traffic, shake their hands and say Jazakallah khair. Thank you for keeping us organized. You see somebody cleaning the masjid, Jazakallah khair. Shake their hands and say, thank you for keeping us clean. You come to a place like this, it's old, but it's always clean. It's old, but it smells nice. It's old, but it looks organized. So that's what we want to appreciate the people who took us through that, inshallah.
Also, thank you so much from our family, the whole community for organizing.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Do me a favor, can you say salam next to the person next to you? Get to know their names, please. Pick somebody that you don't know their name. صلي. لا 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 يلا. We said just salam, not a conversation, inshallah. Inshallah, please, inshallah, afterwards, inshallah, do join us for the sweets. Jazakumullah khair.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله. استووا واستقيموا واعتدلوا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان ومن يتبع خطوات الشيطان فإنه يأمر بالفحشاء والمنكر ولولا فضل الله عليكم ورحمته ما زكى منكم من أحد أبدا ولكن الله يزكي من يشاء والله واسع عليم. ولا يأتل أولو الفضل منكم والسعة أن يؤتوا أولي القربى والمساكين والمهاجرين في سبيل الله وليعفوا وليصفحوا ألا تحبون أن يغفر الله لكم والله غفور رحيم. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي سبحان ربي سبحان ربي. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تكونوا كالذين آذوا موسى فبرأه الله مما قالوا وكان عند الله وجيها. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. الله أكبر. سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى سبحان ربي الأعلى سبحان ربي الأعلى. الله أكبر. التحيات لله الصلوات السلام عليك السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. تحيات صلوات السلام أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد اللهم بارك على محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. The best gift, it is the one Allah He give Himself. That's the names of Allah. An Anhul and Hayang, son or daughter? The child she have? Maryam. I just want you give me 2 minutes to have the beautiful names of Allah, the one who ordered us. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فادعوها بها. اللهم يا الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار. اللهم بارك سيستر نسين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارحمها واختصها برحمتك يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم انزل اهل الخان كلهم في السكينه والسلوى يا حي يا قيوم. اللهم باركهم. May Allah bless all of you, the attendants. May Allah give barakah your family, your wife, your children, all of you. Please, this masjid in our heart is everywhere, every masjid. The corner in Masjid al-Muslimin to the Mu'minin to the other one. The one who makes sure we touch all that masajid is our Sister Nasin. Especially the needy time when they come, those needies. And even sometime, what Fazaga he say, Imam Fazaga, it is, don't worry. Isman, she tell him, do we have a 60 family? When we go, we get to the 88 families. She tell him, don't worry, I have whatever they need. May Allah bless to her. May Allah bless to her. Only I'm mentioning that family, but all of you were mentioning. Please welcome and get our condolence. And may Allah bless all of you. Thank you, please.